Welcome to the LAN Cave. It's a weekly show where we bring you weekly gaming, nerd, awesome stuff. Anything that you want to hear about, that we want to hear about, we tell you. Everything from Marvel to TV shows that we love, and mostly video games, but we throw in some other stuff there. Just so you love it just as much as we do. That was really bad intro, but that's fine. Here with Owen.
Hello!
Rocking it out. And I know we're really excited about our rebrand of the LAN Cave. Rocking it out here in our man
cave. Look at that
cave.
fancy artwork, courtesy of my amazing wife.
Some wonderful artwork. I've gotten a lot of compliments on it. I need to thank her personally. I know that you've relayed that information to her, but I do need to thank her personally and thank her if she happens to be watching the show. But I don't know if
you never know.
You never know. You never know. But yeah, we do video game news, nerd news, anything topical, fun, awesome, and we also have specific segments that you get to tell us what to talk about, and you made me do this. So if there's something you want to hear our opinions on, or you just want to hear us babble about something that you think it'd be funny for us to talk about, you can tell us, and we have to talk about it. Legally binding contract. That's how that works, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I consider that a internet handshake. If you say, hey, guys, I want you to talk about this topic, I will do it.
Yeah.
Within reason.
I think that's how it works. I'm just fixing something live because this is the first episode. So of course, you have little quirks here and there. I'm gonna switch that so it doesn't keep playing those videos. We're gonna play them every now and then, though, like the lower third, because you want to know who we are and who to follow, but we don't want to throw it in your face all the time. Anyways, this was a huge week when it came to like gaming news, Star Wars, Marvel. Everything is happening like all at once, and it's almost too much, but not too much.
This is a great week for a rebrand. It's an absolute great, I couldn't have asked for better news to talk about in a rebranding episode.
I agree.
All. We got Star Wars action. We got Marvel stuff we're going to talk about. We got console juiciness.
All of a sudden, PlayStation, like there were rumors about the PlayStation 5, like more than usual. There were PS5 rumors that were going on, and then they had like an interview with the lead architect. So we actually got some real news about it, which is pretty crazy. Like I didn't think we'd get that for a while. No,
we're gonna get to that because I have many thoughts on not only the news itself, but the air surrounding this news.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we do like to talk about like what we've been playing lately. I've been playing Zelda Breath of the Wild because I missed it, and I have been playing Sekiro. I'll admit I've been playing Sekiro, and Sekiro is great. But I've just been so frustrated, even more frustrated than normal on a Souls, on a From Software game or whatever. More frustrated than normal to the point where I'm like, you know what? I need something. I need to have fun, and this like was the only way to do it. I felt.
Did you delete your save?
No. I didn't delete my save. This, first of all, I am replaying it. I'm replaying it in master mode though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's why my gameplay here is like, not old school. My gameplay here is like almost the first couple hours of the game.
Yeah, that's why I was curious. If you followed that, I think there was an article that went around about a month ago because it had hit 2 years since the game had come out, and the article basically said delete your Zelda save and start over and forget basically everything that you knew, and you would have a completely different path probably than you took before.
I will admit that there are quite a few games like this that I like to start over. Like, I think we've talked about how many times have we restarted Ocarina of Time. How many times have you played? Yeah, so there's something...
The Deku Tree.
Yeah, there's something great about, like, restarting from the very beginning of these games. I apologize for the freaking loading screen. There's something really cool about re-experiencing the very beginning of them. So I get what they were talking about in that article, but I don't agree with delete your save, because that's the part where I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like, that is a lot of time, and you don't have to delete your save. You can have another save. I know that makes it hard to figure out which one is which, but it is possible. It is possible. I think that's, I don't know. That's the way I felt about it.
I'm not going to delete my save anytime soon,
No.
but then again, I'm also like I put about 150 hours into Breath of the Wild, and it's now my favorite game ever. But it's one of those things where it needs to sit and rest for a while, and I can see a thing like that where you're playing through like Sekiro, and you're just like, you know what? I need some feel goodness. I needed
some joy in my life.
I need a game where I know I'm gonna not die all the time.
even master mode in this, which master mode is challenging, but it's not impossible. I will say it's pretty darn challenging. Like, but at the same time, or it's challenging to the point where I may start just completely over on regular. I mean, I didn't delete my save, but at the same time, now that I've beaten it, so I feel like I would rather just start over and experience it again rather than like going around and collecting like Deku seeds. Like, I don't feel like doing that.
The problem is there's a couple things that I know in that game where they're game breaking. Like, once you figure out the easiest way to make money, it really breaks it for you, and you have to purposely not do those things.
I didn't look into that, or I don't know about it. But...
Oh, you never played the snowball game?
No.
Okay.
Breaks it.
There's you could completely break it in terms of how easy it is to earn money in that game by playing the snowball game.
Gotcha. Well, we did talk about, we were going to buy some cheap Switch games, and I didn't get around to this, but you did, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I took the rules to heart. I played the proper game, and I've discovered I've mentioned another game on my phone before called Desert Golf that I've now been playing for almost a year, but I've discovered how much I like simple puzzle golf games. So I went onto my Switch and I found Golf Peaks for $4.99. It is very serene, the right word, where it has a really chill tunage.
Yeah.
It has first of all, it's a very simple soundtrack that changes throughout the worlds that you're in. I don't even know how many worlds are in it yet. I'm in world 9 so far, and each world has its own really amazingly chill soundtrack. It's like a card-based golf thing where every level it pops up these cards that you saw on the screen there. You pick which one that it does. And so you'll have like one that's like move your ball 2 spaces, and it does that. And the idea is you have to use the right card combination to get to your hole. I don't know why I like simple puzzle games like this, but I've not been feeling extremely well this week. It's been a little bit of a rough week. So to have something like that where, you know me and my mindless games, it was nice to just be able to chill there. It's one of those games like we always talk about on the Switch where you pick it up, put it down, pick it up. I can play a level, not feel bad, or I can play 10 levels and feel just as good about it. For $4.99, definitely getting my money's worth, and it's a nice little puzzle game.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't know about it until you mentioned it, and I literally just bought it on my Switch because immediately it reminded me of the Go games. If you played Hitman Go or those games, again, it's very straightforward, very simple in regards to.
How are those not on Switch yet?
Yeah, those are great. It's a great puzzle. It's a great like almost situational puzzle.
Yeah.
And the way that it relays that information, it's turn-based in that case, but everyone takes the turn at the same time when it comes to those games. But I really liked those because they're zen, and even if you're not getting it or you're losing or however you want to feel about it, you're like, all right, I got to think about this for a bit, and then you go do something else. That's the great thing about the Switch. Like you said, you hit that standby button and you go off and do something else, and you don't have to you can spend as little or as much time as you want on it. And I like that kind of stuff. That's cool stuff.
I'm glad you're gonna have to report back on it next week.
No, it looks great. It looks great. We did get more like we mentioned, we got some news about different consoles. I do want to talk really quick about the Notre Dame Cathedral news. I kept saying Notre Dame, but the news of this was, obviously, heartbreaking.
Bummer.
I will say that a lot of people are trying to donate money to it. The Catholic Church has way too much money, so just don't worry about that. But I do find it kind of amazing that the artists for Assassin's Creed are actually the scans and work that they did to create it in the Assassin's Creed games. They're going to be using, or they not going to be using, but they could be using for references when it comes to rebuilding. I think it's really cool to show how much gaming can preserve in regards to and it's not just the experience that you're having there, but it really captures moments, but it also captures exactly what's historically happening at the time. I really thought that was beautiful.
Yeah, it's one of the cool things that Ubisoft, and in particular the Assassin's Creed franchise, is really good at, is they like to capture that aura. I mean, they had the one before Odyssey that I always forget the name of, or is Odyssey Origins, yeah, where there's a whole just a learning mode. So the game that we're talking about specifically is Assassin's Creed Unity, where they are in is it Paris?
Yeah.
Okay. In Paris, with the Notre Dame Cathedral, and it's a very accurate one. And on top of that, if you did not see our Facebook post about it, they are also just giving the game away for free for the next few days. There's a link on the Facebook page. It's PC only, so sorry about that, but how can you complain about a free game? All you literally have to do is click, and it adds it to your Origins they use, or whichever one they use. But still really cool, and also just really cool to the fact that the gaming community might be a part of that rebuild.
Yeah, I know there's we could talk about that for a while. I know there's talk about like what they're actually going to do in regards to the reconstruction. Like, are they going to make it exactly the same, or I think that is that's something. If they have a really good scan, which looks like they have all of this amazing reference material, I think it's great that they can use it, and it's great that the video game community is able to help like that. I think it's really cool. But anyways, on to console news.
Yeah.
We talked about this for a while, but the Xbox, the discless Xbox, is unveiled, as you referred to it as the Xbox One SAD. Because it's Xbox One S without a disc. I get what they're trying to do. I mean, in regards to digital purchases, I think this is a really great. I get it's kind of discounted, but at the same time, I think this is a better second console. If you already have an Xbox One, I think this is really cool to have. I don't, as a primary console, maybe if people are all in on digital, yeah, I guess, but I don't know. I still feel weird about it.
The problem for me here was the specs. So, first of all, the pricing of this, and the reason why I'm calling it the Xbox One S, the SAD edition, is it's the Xbox One S All Digital Edition. So,
all digital
SAD edition. It is $50 less than the Xbox One S. Currently, the Xbox One S is $299. The Xbox SAD is going to be $250. But I guess the coolest thing that they said is if the One S is ever on sale, they will always price the SAD at $50 less.
That's brilliant.
So it's a moving thing. So that's a cool thing. Now the bad thing is that it's literally an Xbox One S. Like, it has the same hard drive size.
Yep.
The box is the same size. It's literally just a that was a bad word. A diskless version of the One S, which is the idea. But if you're going to take that out, I assume that disk drives aren't cheap anymore, especially since they're not widely used except by consoles.
Sure.
Why not give me a 2 terabyte hard drive?
Yeah. Oh no, I agree. I don't understand. Yeah, and especially with the we're going to talk about PlayStation's upcoming specs. And I know that's the next gen, but in my opinion, 2 terabytes the minimum. For this gen, 2 terabytes the minimum, in my opinion, especially for all digital console.
Exactly.
All digital console. This is to 1 terabyte. It's 1 terabyte.
So I guess that they're taking that price thing and putting it into that's your $50 less is paying like that for the disk drive. But to me, for an all digital console, 2 terabytes, easy. Yeah. Like that should not have even, like, I don't get to that part at all. That part makes no sense. But cool for them. Like you mentioned, I think it's probably a great second console. It can even be a great thing if you're like I've mentioned before, the Xbox One S is a beautiful piece of hardware. So if you are primarily a PS4 player, or maybe you even just like your Switch, the Game Pass and Games with Gold combination for $15 a month with your Xbox One S All Digital Edition is a great secondary system to put into your house.
Yeah, and I know it does come with. I have to look and see how much it comes with. 3 months. Yeah, was it what 3?
It comes with 3 games.
3 games. Okay, sorry. So I knew it came with 3 games. Like I thought it came with a like a couple months of Games with Gold and Game Pass. Just double checking. I know it does come with 3 games.
Comes with Minecraft, Sea of Thieves, and Forza Horizon 3, which I also don't understand.
Yeah, they came out with the previous one. So
that's all I got.
Yeah, it doesn't have it. So
it's the 3 games that you're getting.
Yeah, I thought that was part of it as well. I think they should have thrown 3 months of Game Pass in there, because
they should have done that instead.
Yeah,
because you can get all 3 of these games with Game Pass.
Yeah.
So you don't, like, I would have rather had, instead of these 3 games, especially if you're giving me Sea of Thieves and not giving me Xbox Live, because as far as I know on PC you can play without Xbox Live, but I would think on the Xbox you have to play Sea of Thieves with Xbox Live, which costs money.
Yes.
I don't want to criticize it too much. I just think it should have had a 2 terabyte hard drive. That's the only thing that I really care about.
No, I think you're right. I think that should be the standard at this point. I don't understand, especially with a digital console. I don't understand not putting in a 2 terabyte hard drive. Especially because they're marketing this to say it's all about ease of access. Everything's digital. Everything's there. It's ready for you.
Yeah.
But if you have a 1 terabyte hard drive and everything you're doing is digital, those hard drives fill up quicker. I mean, you've experienced this, so you know what I'm talking about. But a lot of people, when they first start buying, when they bought a console that has digital downloads this generation, and seeing how much space those games take up, it takes up so much space so quick. One of my friends he skipped the 360 generation. He had an OG Xbox. Skipped 360. So he's a little bit older than us, but skipped he had a 360, but he rarely played it. Like his kids played Halo on it.
As you do.
And yeah, I mean, he had a white 360, and then he got an Xbox One last September. And we were talking about waiting for the right time to buy it. He got a great deal that was like early Thanksgiving, whatever you call it.
Sure.
And he was saying, oh, well, the hard drive comes with a terabyte hard drive. And I was like, yeah, you're going to fill that up quick. He's like, I don't think so. And then he got the Halo Master Chief Collection. And that's
probably like 250, 300.
And that was, I think it was around that, because it's every single one of those games. And just from a percentile standpoint, he's like, that already filled up 35% of my console. Like, but now what? I'm like, well, now you manage your space. You manage the memory on your hard drive.
You buy yourself a little external.
Exactly, and that's what he ended up doing, because I basically told him, I was like, yeah, you keep the stuff on there that you want to have on there all the time, and then you manage the other stuff on there. He's like, no, I'm not doing that.
I'm very meticulous about library management, because it bothers me to see hard drive space like full, because the thing that happens is I'm a very impulse buyer. So I will log on. I'll be bored during like work or my lunch break or something, and I'll open up my little PlayStation app, and I'll be like, "Ooh, sale!" Click and send to PlayStation because I keep that thing in standby mode. I don't ever want to run into a situation where I send to PlayStation and it doesn't send to PlayStation because it's too full. So as soon as I'm done with the game and I know that I'm not coming back, delete. I'm really like, it's because I'm all like, even though it's extremely cheap to buy an external hard drive at this point, I'm also cheap. Like, I'm being stubborn about it. I am tempted to buy one right before the kid shows up and just load a bunch of games. That way I don't have to worry about it. But
it really, in my opinion, it helps. I swapped my hard drive. Like, I opened up the PlayStation, swapped it, because PlayStation actually is okay with that. They even have like videos where they're like, hey, you want to swap it? That's cool. Microsoft does not want you to touch that. But yeah, I swapped it so I've got a 2 terabyte internal, and I may, I don't have it right now, but I think I'm probably going to get an external, because it ends up filling up, because there's certain ones that I think I want to have ready, and usually they're in the category of games that I either I want to have them ready, or they're games I may want to play with the wife at some point. And if that's the case, I want them ready, because once she's in the mood to like play Telltale, we wanted to play Telltale Guardians of the Galaxy last night, and I forgot that I deleted it. So I was like, all right, well, I'll download it, and I knew by the time it downloads, she's like, oh, let's watch some Friends or something. So we let it download, and we watched Friends.
No, I have to do that stuff with like Life is Strange too. Like, I have to let her know, and I have to be on the ball with the update ready to go. Yeah. Because otherwise, she's gonna get bored and she's gonna be like, I'm just gonna go take a shower. Yeah. And then she's like, oh, it's too late. I think I'm just gonna go to bed. Yeah. So I'm like, I want it to be ready. When she's ready to experience that with me, I want to be able to experience that with her. So yeah, you and I see eye to eye on that. But yeah, it's like I said, I don't think it's a bad addition. I think it's great as a secondary console. It becomes the cheapest console on the market.
It does. $250. And part of me, if we didn't have, well, let me rephrase this. I considered for a little bit, thinking, well, I could get one and then put it in the office, so then I have it here. I'm not the average person, because the average person's not going to do that. But the average person may say, oh, you know what? I'm going to put that in my bedroom. I think it's a great secondary console. I think it's a great console if you have like a family, obviously, and you've got some kids and you have your Xbox and you want them to have their own Xbox. This is a great console for that. And especially with the Xbox family sharing and everything, I think that's great.
Not gonna lie, if PlayStation did it, if PlayStation came out with the PlayStation Sat Edition and it wasn't a Pro, it was just a discless PS4, that would be in my office tomorrow as soon as that thing came out.
If it wasn't a Pro?
No, I don't care. Like, it could be a Pro, but it doesn't matter to me. If they made a discless one that was $250, I would put that sucker. I don't have a 4K TV in here. I just have it's like a 21-inch 720p thing. But it would be something where I can easily hook it up to a capture card for the show and everything. If PlayStation did it, that's me showing my obvious. I think the last time I checked with all the PlayStation Plus games, I think I have like 500 digital titles.
I don't think I'm quite up. I think I'm 3 and some change or so. But no, I agree. Like I said, I don't think it's bad. I think it has its place. I think a lot of people are just completely crapping on it, but I don't think it's that bad. I think that I just don't think. To me, I'm all about options. I want to have those options. I want to, and everything from new games to just saying, oh, look, I can go grab a used game or someone brought a game over. I know you can, have them sign in and download their game, but that's going to take a while. Again, it's not as easy. I really like the options. I like the having that flexibility in anything that I buy. So this is basically limiting what you can do with it. It's not bad. I just don't think it's for me. Not for my main console or anything.
No, and I don't think I can iterate on it anymore. But again, I can't hate on it. It's the cheapest console there is. I just put a bigger hard drive in it. But dude, around Black Friday time, I'm gonna tell everyone, don't buy it right now. Buy it in Black Friday. I guarantee you, the Xbox One S is gonna be $250. You're gonna be able to get that SAT edition for $200.
$200, yeah. And that's the time to grab it. But you know what I'm gonna do at that point? I'm gonna grab another Switch.
A Switch.
It may end up being a new SKU because that's been a rumor for a while, but I love my Switch. It's become the console that I end up playing on more than anything because it's so accessible. And now we are going to be able to actually transfer saves, which is something that have been asking for since before the Switch came out. I know it's because it's Nintendo, but I can't believe that we had to wait this long to transfer save files. There are horror stories of people putting in 200 hours on Breath of the Wild and then losing their Switch in a public place. And that's it. That's it. It is 2019. I should not ever have to lose a save file. Everything should be saved to the cloud.
The thing about this, though, is I don't think this completely solves that problem.
It doesn't? I thought it did.
So I may have to reread it. So I may be speaking completely out of turn. But as far as I know, it is a one-time transfer, so it's not a cloud save.
Oh, I thought it was. Hold on. I thought it was a cloud save. Nope, you're right.
Chief among them is the ability to transfer save data for individual data between Switch consoles, which has been one of the most frequent. The addition of save transfers.
Yeah. Well, you already have your cloud backups, which is part of. Yeah, that's fine. So the cloud backups are part of the Nintendo Online.
Are they?
Yeah, save data cloud. I assumed that was part of. That was part of that.
Okay. So you can click on Save Data Cloud Backup. All right, cool. So this transfer is for if you're going to perhaps be getting a new SKU. And as far as I know, this is a one-time transfer. So
this is what they did with the 3DS and the DS. Yeah, it's the same thing. Which that's what I was saying. Like that, it will allow that in the case, like you said, one-time transfer. I think that. I would assume that you could also do this, if you lost yours, you got a cloud save. I think it's weird that it's a one-time transfer.
I think that you can transfer it again from the new Switch. I think it's just one transfer at a time. But the point is why can't you just copy it?
Yeah, so Nintendo did this, like I said, with the back in the day with the DS and 3DS, and I don't remember all of the pain with it, but I do know it was to the point where you would have moms bring their kids 3DS to GameStop and be like, I don't know how to do this. Can you help me? Because it was this step-by-step program, and I know people who worked for GameStop that would plug it in and, go through the motions with them. I think it's Nintendo's fear of being able to copy a file somewhere and then copy it somewhere else and then being able to edit that file. And it's possible, but again, we're in 2019. There's ways around that, where if you move the file, you delete the previous one. It can only be in one place at a time. Well, that's fine. I'm not going to play it here and play it on another one. I think that's what they're trying to figure out to make sure I'm not playing a digital game here and somewhere else, maybe, but I don't know.
Only thing that I would wonder is because I don't have a second SKU yet, which as soon as they come out with the new and improved battery one, day one buy.
Yep.
And I will be keeping my other one because it's perfect to be like, hello, wife. Here you go. Here's a brand new used Switch for you.
Yeah.
As I take the new hotness to myself, as you do.
Well, she can play Tetris and anything that she wants, anytime she wants.
She can play a lot of it. She'll play Zelda even a little bit too. The thing that I would just wonder as far as the cloud save goes is that's what is intriguing me about getting an Xbox One all digital. That's intriguing me about getting a PS4 digital one, if there was one, is because with PlayStation, I'm assuming Xbox works similarly, just because why wouldn't they? But with PlayStation, you can do cloud saves, upload that save to the cloud, pull it onto your other PlayStation.
Yeah.
I want that. That needs to happen for Switch because I'm going to keep my account on the old one. I have lots of games on there that I've already bought where all she has to do is switch to her name and she can play anything that I purchase. So I'm going to keep that. But I would also like to just, I got saves from various games. I just want to be able to upload them and download them at my whim. So if the cloud doesn't work like that now, it's going to need to.
Yeah. No, I agree. Especially, again, I think this is also part of Nintendo saying they don't just want a Switch in every household. They want a Switch for every person. They want, which I agree. The Switch, there's something personal about it where I think it's because it's so much like a mobile device, because it is so mobile, that I bought the Switch for us, me and the wife, but she feels like if she's playing it, she's taking it away from me. Kind of like if I borrowed your cell phone from you, like you're going to be kind of without a cell phone for a while and thus put out. And it's not at that level, but at the same time, Nintendo needs to just really commit to their idea of being about the family and just say, all right, well, this is a family plan. You have cloud saves. You can push pull all your saves to anything on the family. I think that would make more sense. We'll get there at one point, I hope.
Man,
but
Game Pass needs a family plan.
Game Pass.
Dope.
That'd be really awesome. So I got Xbox news, we got Switch news for Nintendo, and we got unexpected PlayStation news like we talked about. PlayStation 5 news, with like we said in the beginning of the episode, we thought this was not... So we thought that this wasn't going to happen anytime soon, at least in official capacity. I don't think either of us thought this was going to happen anytime soon in regards to official news. But we got news straight from the lead architect of PlayStation that we're getting PlayStation 5 will have... Everyone's talking about CPU. Okay, first of all, solid-state hard drive is the coolest thing to me. To have this with a solid-state hard drive that's going to be optimized, because you can put a solid-state hard drive in your PS4. It doesn't help that much, though. It's not optimized. It's not really going to take advantage of it the way that a PS5 will. We got an 8-core 3rd-gen Ryzen CPU. This is close to a decent CPU in a PC. And I had to do some digging in it because CPUs, it's not a straight up numbers game like it used to be, where it was like, oh, you just have the rating and you got this many cores. There's a lot more to it. And custom Radeon Navi, whatever you call it, with ray tracing. Ray tracing is one of the coolest things when it comes to graphics. Again, we're not talking numbers anymore. Doesn't matter if it's 1080 or 4K. If you have this type of lighting effect in your game or in your movies or anything, it makes everything look so real. Pixels don't matter. This realism is better than... It makes more sense than pixels. I'd rather have this than 8K.
Well, apparently, ray tracing also affects the sound too, in terms of environmental sound effects, where with your sound system or with your awesome headphones and everything, it affects the immersion, just like it does with the graphics. It affects the immersion of the sound too.
Yeah. Which we have now to an extent. We have it to an extent now where you can hear that someone's behind you shooting, or if I play Borderlands, I can hear it. I'm trying to remember one of the first games that I played. It was Heavy Rain. Was one of the first games that I played where the environmental sound effects really immersed you. But in this case, it's essentially it's going to make it where, in my opinion, if you have this and you're playing a multiplayer game, you're going to have an edge on your opponents, because you're going to have an auditory clue that's better than just regular headphones. If you've got this type of computation going on, I think it's really going to help in regards to that. I don't think it's enough that you're going to win matches by it, but it's definitely going to cue you in that someone's behind you and kind of where they are. Yeah. Well,
especially in the Battle Royale LAN space. The juiciness of this article, dude. So, you unpacked a lot of the details, which are great.
I wanted to get it out soon. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that he didn't even mention as far as the solid state goes, it's especially formatted solid state drive. It's so you can currently put an SSD in your PS4 and it will work faster, but they compared it. So he plopped down Spider-Man and showed fast travel. Fast travel took 15 seconds. Not a long time, right? 15 seconds, no big deal. Yeah. On a regular old PS4 Pro, even. And he then busted out a computer tower, according to this article, which is on Wired. Everybody should go read this article about it. The fact that this is on Wired, too, that's the other thing. Less than a second.
Yeah.
For fast travel.
Insane.
Fast travel was actually fast. So the other cool thing that you mentioned ray tracing, and you mentioned that that's more important in 8K. They did drop 8K, and a whole lot of people are kind of scoffing at that. But what that tells me, for everybody who is just now joining the 4K race, good job. Get in on it. It's starting to get even cheaper. Again, watch out for them Black Friday sales. Yep. So what this tells me is the fact that he says that the PS5, which, by the way, they didn't say the name of, he is not saying that's the official. We're just assuming that's what it's called. Will support 8K graphics. So that means if it can support 8K graphics, potentially, that should tell me that 4K at 60 should be a done deal.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, and that's exactly what I was thinking. Because if like you said, if you can do 8K, you can do 4K, you can do 1080.
Yeah.
All of that will be easier. 60 frames per second, that's not a problem. That's something that they've been battling since the previous gen. Not really the gen before that, but Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, in regards to game developers, were making games to the lowest common denominator, and that's why Halo's a bad example because Halo's first party, but Halo is what was it? It's 560i. It's not 10. It's not 720. It's this weird in between. And to me, that's kind of it's dumb that they had to do that, but they had to do it for the frame rate. Yeah. And we've seen that battle going on, and there are people who really need that 60 frame. In my opinion, there are certain
you need it for a shooter.
You need it for a shooter.
If you're in an online shooter and you're at less than 60, you're losing.
I agree. Oh no, I agree with you on that. But I think that there are a lot of people who immediately are like, it has to be 60 frames. I'm like, I can play The Last of Us and at 30 and it's fine. Yeah. Playing at 60, it's pretty. Don't get me wrong, but there's something in certain games like that. I don't mind 30. In fact, I would really like a mode for some of those types of games where I can get a 24 frame setting, because that'll give the cinematic look. If you're watching movies, that's 24 frames a second. It's not 60. It's not 100.
I would rather it just natively did that with cutscenes. If it just did that on its own for cutscenes and did the cinematic, and me not having to pay attention at all, because I don't want 24 FPS gameplay. 24 FPS cutscene is fun, but 24 FPS gameplay, I'm not a frame snob, but once you start getting below 30, it's choppy.
But
it's choppy.
I would say a Telltale or something like that would lend itself to 24. I don't think a Gears of War, or something, which again, Gears of War is a great game. If you had it 60, okay, that's good. But in regards to if you're not playing online, 60
Any
frames.
Shooter needs to be 60.
No, I agree.
It can't minimum. No. So the coolest thing about this article is not just the fact that we got all this. It is Sony, who we've been like, what are you doing all year? You pulled out of E3. Yeah. You didn't have PSX in December of last year. What's going on? We're not going to see PS5. Oh, did Microsoft make an announcement yet? Because they didn't.
Nope.
They did say the next day on Twitter. I didn't mean to cut you. The next day, Microsoft announced that they had scheduled their E3 press conference.
Oh, sure. that was Microsoft. I wouldn't, not cowering. I wouldn't say that, but that was definitely a moment for Microsoft of realizing that they're now playing behind in regards to pacing for this next generation, because they thought they had time. and now they realize they don't have as much time. I don't know which is going to come out first. I don't think they'll come out close to each other, because they're smart enough to know that that'll cannibalize one versus another, that they want, both of them want that carryover. If the Xbox comes out first, there's some PlayStation people who will also buy an Xbox, and that may be their first next gen console, right? And the same thing with PlayStation. There's people who are fanboys that are like, they're not going to buy anything other than what they like, and there's also people like me who I'm going to buy both.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm buying both, if they both came out, let's say December 2020, let's just throw out November 2020. Not that that's a prediction, but if they both came out around that time, the average person's not going to be able to drop money on both of them simultaneously.
No,
I think they know that.
That'd be a dumb idea anyway, just from a launch library standpoint. But that is one thing that we didn't mention yet, is that he did confirm that this is not coming out in 2019. And I think what's interesting is they also, Naughty Dog announced that they just finished, they just wrapped the last scene on that. And so where originally we were wondering if Last of Us 2 might come out in 2019, now I don't think so. I'm thinking early 2020. So to me, what I'm thinking right now is that they haven't said it yet, but I think there's going to be a PSX. And that's when we're going to find out about Last of Us. The Sucker Punch has also confirmed that Ghost of Tsushima is not as far as long as we thought, so that's not 2019 either. I expect both of those now at PSX. I expect early 2020 launches, and then somewhere around like March or so, whenever they've been dropping gaming bombs in March the last couple of years. This time they come out with a PS5 press conference in March, and they launch like I guess August, I don't know, summer, but August maybe. Yeah, August would probably be good to start that fall stretch. Yeah. So that's a good guess. August of 2020 would be sweet. Yeah. And then for those people who for some reason never bought one, then you'll also still be able to play Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima on PS5. Yes. And then, crazily enough, like Horizon with man, dude, so many people talked this week. So Horizon 2 got like unofficially leaked at Star Wars Celebration. Yeah. And what if that's a PS5 launch game, dude? Like, what if that launches the console? Yeah. Oh, I think it'd be great. Well, they did talk about when Horizon came out. They did talk about like this. They wanted this to be one of those staple mascots of Sony. Yeah, where I'd put Nathan Drake in there. I used to say Crash Bandicoot, and now it's kind of like it's here and there. Sure. It used to be a mascot, but there's certain titles that you think of Sony, you think of that. And I think that they're wanting to position themselves for Horizon be that. I think Horizon as a launch title for the PS5 would be amazing. And I'd bet $100 that it is going to be called the PlayStation 5, because they've gone PlayStation 2, 3, 4. And if they screwed up the numbering format at this point, it wouldn't make any sense. And plus, it's a very Japanese thing to do, to be like, this is the number. Just for fun, I'm not going to bet $100, but just for fun, even though I'm also with you, the PlayStation 5, but I will bet you a $10 game that they don't call it PlayStation 5. Okay, I'll take that bet. I think they're going to call it PlayStation 5. I don't think that they're going to... I think they're going to keep it with that naming scheme. The only reason, to play devil's advocate with myself, the only reason I could see them not doing that is them trying to get away from the idea of generations. Yeah. Which Xbox has talked about that. Yeah, and that's the only reason that I think about it, because they've talked about, over the next couple of years, we don't know what's going to happen with gaming. So there's a very, not a big thought, but I'm sure it's talked about with a lot of people, that this next generation is the last. Now, we've been saying that for a long time, but and that even is, again, read this Wired articles. Yeah. It's excellently written. It's really fun. But the end of it, where it was like, Sony's been a staple for 4 generations, and it appears it's going to be for one more. That was a great ending sentence. Yeah. But what if this is it? So if they are going to go out and change changed the way of thinking after the PS5.
Yeah.
What if they just call it the PlayStation or something? Like, it would be a total Apple thing to do, where like they stopped naming their. They still do it with iPhones, but after a while they stopped doing it with iPads. Like once they got past the iPad 2, they started just calling it the iPad, the new iPad. Like every iPad is just called iPad. But just take it. I'm going with that. I'm not. That's a side thing. I'm still just taking the field here.
All
like
right.
You're saying PS5, and I'm saying anything but PS5.
Anything
but I'm going to put a little
sure.
side thing on there where if they call it the PlayStation, like $5 more or
$5 more.
just a bonus.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that $15 bet. That's fine.
All right.
That's fine. You mentioned, by the way, Star Wars Celebration. That did happen.
Yeah.
And I had some friends of mine at Celebration, and I haven't watched this trailer yet, so I'm hoping that they show up in here. If they do, I'll pause it. Had some cosplayer friends that were there,
Cool.
and I need to go to Celebration. I don't know why I haven't been, but it looks amazing as per usual. And we got a lot of great Star Wars news, as you do from a convention that's all about Star Wars. And we got not only a trailer. Which did you think that the trailer for Rise, Episode 9, as we would refer to it, did you think that was going to show up during
Absolutely.
Celebration? You did? Okay.
Absolutely.
I wasn't sure. I thought that they may hold it for longer because, it's not that, knowing that it's coming out in December, like they could just do it in July or August and it really wouldn't matter.
We're gonna get one more early fall.
Yeah. Oh, and more trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get the trailer in early fall, and then we'll get probably a couple others as we get closer, which I don't like that they do that, by the way.
I hate all movie theaters doing that.
Yeah, like they're pushing too many trailers that have more and more and more stuff in them, and I kind of don't like that. I don't get it. And then the Russos now are like purposely filming things that are not in the movie. So the Infinity War, or sorry, Endgame, has footage that they've straight up said, "Oh yeah, that's not in the movie."
Yeah.
So I don't like that practice. I like this new droid, by the way, but I don't like that practice. But either way, we got a trailer, and I was happy about the trailer. Sorry, I got a little cropped version of this, so hopefully Disney doesn't come after us. So Rise of the Skywalker.
Yeah.
Or sorry, the Rise of Skywalker. I apologize. The Rise of Skywalker. Now everyone's debating about
Skywalker.
Who's a Skywalker. I still think that this is referring to Rey, and everyone's saying, well, she's not a Skywalker, and I'm like, yeah, she is, I think.
Yeah.
But other people were saying it's Kylo, and I thought it was funny that people were saying, sorry, I meant to say Kylo when I was talking earlier. Some people were saying it's Kylo, and other people, I think it could be, but some people are discounting him, not remembering or realizing that, he's
Darth's grandson.
You're
watching the
his
trailer,
last
right?
name, yeah, but his last name isn't Skywalker. He's a Solo.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, all right, but he has the Skywalker bloodline. That's what matters. I think it could be him, like taking up the name of Skywalker, and turning to the light side, taking that name, possibly. I don't know. Either way, the kind of mic drop of having Palpatine laughing right before saying no one's ever truly gone, and then hearing Palpatine has all the different people speculating what that really means.
Yeah.
Does that mean we're gonna get clone Palpatine? Does that mean we're gonna get Force Ghost Palpatine? There's a lot of different ways that they could go about this.
Yeah.
That we could speculate. Either way, I'm just happy that Palpatine's involved again. I don't know. I got a lot to talk about on this.
Oh yeah, there's things about the internet that I hate.
Yeah.
And it's because I don't. Even if you don't like The Last Jedi, which I don't blame you, I like it just fine. It's not like high up on my rankings or anything, but the first time I really didn't enjoy it. The second time I came around. And it's because with Star Wars we always place these expectations. So when that laugh came out, you had people like me and you that are super like, can't, like, Patrick even sent me a polo and was like, you realize, just to let you know, that's Palpatine. And I was like, just to let you know, duh. Like, come on. Well, and I wasn't insulted.
Yeah, but. No. It took me a second where I'm like, is that really Palpatine? Really? Like, it was just so out of left field.
Yeah. But the thing where I hate the internet is there's the people who are excited like us, and then there was the people who were like, oh, why did they go back like Palpatine? Like, oh, this is like fan fiction. And I was like, did nobody like read Star Wars books? I know that it's just the Legends universe now, but Palpatine definitely got cloned in the Legends universe.
Well, and I'm never going to be a person who, as Cass and I were actually talking about earlier today, like gatekeeping, like where you're like, no, you're not a true fan because of blah blah blah. But I think there's a reverse part of that where people will start trashing something.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, that's so inaccurate. And it's like, you're trying to pretend that you know this, but you don't. Like
Johnny, you're out of your element.
Exactly. That is exactly right. Like when people were talking about that and saying like Palpatine can't come back, I don't understand why they just threw this in. I'm like, there's books. There's
Force ghosts that are very clearly there. He straight up talked to Yoda last movie. Well, and that wasn't inaccurate either.
Yeah. Well, some people were like, oh, well, the Sith can't be Force ghosts. And I'm like, why not? Because we haven't seen it yet? Okay. Who cares? Like, yeah, it goes back to the whole Simon Pegg thing about like his dad asking him, how do you kill a vampire? And the answer is however you want. They're not real. You just write however that death is going to happen. It's the same thing with this. First of all, I don't think that they're going to tap into straight up Thrawn and all that. As much as I'd like to see something like that, they've already put that into Legends category.
They had Thrawn in Rebels.
They had Thrawn in Rebels. That's what I mean. So I don't think they're going to throw him into Episode 9.
No.
But Palpatine can come back. That's fine. I don't know if it's going to be a clone. It could be. But I think it's funny that people are saying like, oh, they're just doing this for fan service. As if they didn't know, because I guess they didn't know. And they're pretending to be like these uppity fans on a pedestal. And like, dude, you have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not going to dog you and say you're not a fan, but don't pretend you know and you don't.
I hate the internet Star Wars fans. I'm pretty sure that I would really like a couple of friends of mine as well were at Star Wars Celebration, and you can tell that there are people there that they just want to love Star Wars. Like, and we can all be critical, and I'll happily be critical about the Star Wars franchise. It's literally my favorite thing in the entire world. I've been watching Star Wars since I was old enough to put a VHS and a VCR.
Same here.
It's my favorite thing, and I will be very critical of it when it happens, but it hasn't happened yet. I got a beautiful trailer, and Lucasfilms knows how to cut an effing trailer. Like, you can even go back to the prequels, and you could say everything that you want about the prequels, but the trailers were still dope. They still made you excited time after time after time. Every time. I'm always pumped, and I don't see how you could watch this trailer and not be pumped. That flip that Rey does.
Oh yeah,
dope.
I got emotional. I got emotional hearing Luke's voice. Like, not that I didn't think he was going to be there.
Yeah.
But similar to Obi-Wan, he's passing the torch.
Yeah.
He's going to be there as a mentor still. I think that we're going to see more of him in this than we did of Obi-Wan in Return of the Jedi, because that was a filler scene. I don't know if you know this history on that. That was a filler scene thrown in, like, kind of not last minute, but it was thrown into there just to confirm that, like, oh yeah, you are Darth Vader's son. But I think we're going to get more of that. I got emotional with that. I got emotional with Lando showing up in there. I knew he was going to be there, but it's something just amazing seeing him fly his ship, because it's his ship. And so,
well, what's funny about that is I think there's one point where there's like an "over my dead body" statement,
Yeah, there's a meme going around to that. Yeah. Yep, I've got someone sent me the meme. I'll send it to you to see you later. But yeah, so it's yeah.
I mean, rip at the same time, but like it's still just like he got you there, huh?
Yeah, and I like, again, they showed just enough. It's a great trailer. They showed me just enough to give me a taste. Yeah, I know. Like, okay, I know we're gonna get lightsabers. Cool, that's fine. But we got some Carrie Fisher, which, if you didn't know, and I know you know, but the people who are listening, they filmed a ton of stuff with her that didn't get used for. I say a ton. I don't know.
Yeah,
they filmed a bunch of scenes that didn't get used when it in regards to episode 8, possibly episode 7. I know that episode 8
and a little bit of 9 too.
I don't know that she filmed for 9, but like I know they basically rewrote some stuff in storyline wise, probably a side story or whatever in there.
Yeah.
But they made sure her scenes could be put in there and fit, which I think will be great as long as they don't.
Super cool of JJ, dude.
It really is. No, I think this
and
is...
especially not to use digital. Like they made a point saying we will not digitally put Carrie Fisher in episode 9, so they're using real footage.
Yeah. Now that being said, I would not be opposed if they had a scene and they were like, oh, we need one more bit where like you see like the back of her or something, like a body double for certain areas. I think is okay. But I was
already
worried
happens anyway. Yeah.
No, it is. It happens all the time. But I was worried that we were going to get a digital Carrie, and how they were going to make that happen, because you have the kind of uncanny valley, which Tarkin didn't look too bad in Rogue One, but Carrie Fisher did. Like Princess Leia at the very end of Rogue One.
Yeah, she looked like she needed a sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah, that was...
She looked like she weighed like 60 pounds.
I was going to say that was more of Return of the Jedi era Carrie Fisher as opposed to New Hope, because that was when they sent her to fat camp for the golden bikini, which she never gave George. She never has let up on George Lucas about that. So
of course not.
Yeah. But I'm excited about that.
And to send a 5'1" lady to fat camp when she's already on cocaine.
Yeah, that's I was gonna say that was watching her in that. Exactly. But we got that, and we finally. This is the part that I knew we were gonna get, was the trailer of the Fallen Order.
Yeah.
And not only the trailer, but the tweet from EA specifically saying this is a single player game, we're not having microtransactions, and to have that tweet come out, them specifically saying, look, this is for you to play as a Jedi, to have that experience. We're not gonna have loot boxes, we're not gonna have microtransactions, all that crap.
I hated that tweet, to be honest with you.
You hated it?
Yeah.
I thought it was self-aware. I mean, yeah, I don't think it's going to change their business practices, but I thought that was that was them tweeting out to say, look, we're going to give you what you want. It may have been reluctant that they're doing it, because arguably they could make less money off of it, but at the same time, I think it shows that they're trying to be, at least with this game, they're going to be true to heart, which again, there are a bunch of memes about people who are like, talking about they don't trust them.
Yeah. So I saw a response to this that in a way was true, but at the same time, like, and he made a good point, is that, all right, everybody wants third party, one player games now. And people were quickly pointing out first party games, and every time I had to be like, that's a first part. God of War is a first party game. Yes. Last of Us is a first. No. So this is a third party game. Yep. You need to go buy it. And then he had to come back later and be like, oh yeah, it has to be good. I'm not saying just buy it blindly. I didn't like the tweet as far as saying, no, like, I guess it's self-aware, maybe it's a little self-deprecating, but like, at the same time, I don't care. Just show this trailer. And this is again where I hate the internet, and people were upset and meh on this trailer. I don't get how you can be, other than that you can say, I wanted to see gameplay.
That's the only thing I could think of would be gameplay, but at the same time, knowing what they're focusing on when it comes to the game, knowing that the trailer told me that this is story. This is going to be very story driven. It also showed me that it's obviously, because it's Fallen Order. This is after after the Order 66 and everything. I think it showed me that the world that they're going to be showing is more of the non-Jedi, lightsaber fun time, which, as cool as that is, playing a game, like I played Jedi Knight 2 a while back, and as fun as that is, I think that the Star Wars world is so immersive when you don't even deal with the Force and you just deal with everything else in there. It's so massive and so rich that you don't need to crowd it with that. Yeah, you're going to be a Jedi and everything, but my guess is that you're going to have a good amount of the game where you may not be using a lightsaber, and that's actually combat's actually viable doing that, which I really hope that it was.
Yeah, I got. So you mentioned Jedi Knight. I got a real Dark Forces vibe about this game. So that's the only thing that I would want to see from gameplay, and the thing that they still haven't confirmed is this a third person or a first person game? To me, I really want this to be first person. The character looked very average. He looked like a very typical dude, and I know that this was the first thing, so it's probably going to be polished. Although the game is supposed to come out November 15th.
Yeah. So
that should tell us, okay, it's probably almost done. But I want a first-person game because I want to be the person in Star Wars, and the reason why I wasn't concerned about seeing gameplay is because I trust Respawn. They have killed it with Apex. Yep. They killed it with Titanfall 2. Yep. Titanfall 1 is even awesome. It's just multiplayer only, but they do gameplay, dudes. Like I heard from a couple other people that, from what they've heard from people they know at Respawn, they're excited, and you don't get that air of excitement from devs unless they believe it. And so I believe it. The story is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see something that interested me. It's not 100% Jedi, which gave me that Dark Forces vibe where okay, I know eventually the lightsaber is going to come out, but to me, you start with a blaster, if anything.
I want that.
All of that excites me just as much as Mandalorian excites me in terms of, again, the Jedi-less thing. Like, you have such a cool...
Sorry.
No, it's okay. You have such a cool world universe in Star Wars. Like, as much as I love Trek, and shout-outs to the season finale of Discovery that I'm going to watch here in a little while, Star Wars just there's a mystique to it. There's this air, the outer rim, the inner rim, and so this game, along with Mandalorian, along with Episode 9, I don't like fanboy, but there's just so much stuff.
There's so much stuff, and I feel like
what
we've
did you
gotten
play?
to. What's that?
What trailer did you play?
This is some footage from Celebration where they're showing model making from the Mandalorian.
All right, sorry.
I also found leaked footage, which hasn't come online, but I have found leaked footage and watched some of that as well in regards to the teasers that they put out. Yeah. This is them making physical models and then rendering those and everything. I think that, I'm excited about this, but also I feel Mandalorian's a different story because that's been in the works for a little while. That's Favreau, so right? Isn't that Jon Favreau?
Yeah, it's Favreau.
So I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Funny enough, we were just watching the episode of him on Friends, or a couple episodes of him on Friends, which I thought was great. But I trust it. I feel like it again. We're dealing with the seedy underbelly, and I feel like with the practical effects that they are using and everything, I think it's going to be great. But I feel like Rise of Skywalker and Fallen Order, I feel are almost apologies to the Star Wars hardcore fan base, and saying, look, we know we want to get it back on track. Let's do it the right way. That's why I think you're going to have not a ton of Luke, but you're going to have a decent amount of Luke in Episode 9. Palpatine's back. I think that we're going to find out. I think that we're going to find out Rise of Skywalker. I think they're going to apologize. Hopefully, get some Knights of Ren stuff, which was completely dropped for Episode 8.
Yeah.
I think it's going to get back on track, and then they did say that after episode 9, this is the end of the saga, this is in the numbering, and they said they're going to go on hiatus for a little while.
They need to.
And I think that means probably more than a year and a half or 2 years, because
I'm thinking at least 5.
I think they could do 3 or 4. I think it'd be okay. The way that we are now expecting things, that I think if they did 3 or 4 years, that it would cool off enough. And then get us back on track with more Star Wars, more of what we want in Star Wars, which is not what I think. I'm not going to blame anybody on this, but I feel like it got off track, and I think we're going to get back there. I'm excited.
I think this is EA's last shot. Not thinking episode 9 at all, but gaming wise, this has got to be EA's last shot. If they mess this up, if this game sucks, that's it. Like, as much as and you know that I'm only half full of it, if they come out with some other good-looking concept later, I'll probably buy that too. But in terms of in terms of the gaming world, if they make a bad single-player Star Wars game after all the single-player Star Wars games they've canceled, after the botches of Battlefield, that's it. If Disney doesn't pull that license from EA, that's bad business. With episode 9, I don't want it to be an apology, because I feel like episode 7 was an apology. I feel like that was JJ saying, I got this. And then my problem with JJ saying he got this is then he left. I'm still a little miffed about that, JJ. And so I feel like, I hope JJ doesn't do too much apologizing. I hope what he does is say this is the vision that I started with 7.
Yes.
8 happened. Sorry about that, dudes. Here's what I wanted it to get to.
Yes.
Rianne, just me and Rianne just a little, we weren't on the same page, and that's okay. Rianne, good job. Rianne said he was excited about it.
Is it Rianne or Ryan?
I don't know. I would say Rianne. Is it Ryan Johnson?
I think
You're
Ryan.
probably right. I'm probably being unintentionally mean.
Yeah.
But it's good that they're going to go on hiatus. We talk a lot on this show about respecting your fans and respecting your franchises. This is a franchise that means the world to me. I love it every time, but then I get mad at it too. It needs to be good, and right now I have no reason to think it won't be. I don't think we need to talk too much about Mandalorian, because the trailer hasn't released yet, and when it does, we will. But the leaked stuff on Reddit, it got me super excited too.
Yeah.
If you want to find it, it's out there. It's not polished, but those little figures like he was showing in that video, you can see that in there without the graphics applied to it. And I'm 99% sure that's why this trailer was not released to the public. That's a day one Disney Plus thing. So with that Disney Plus subscription they announced this last week as well, you get Mandalorian. And for that alone, I'm in.
Yeah,
it's gonna be dope.
No, exactly. That's exactly why I'm getting it day one, and I can't wait. So let us know if you're excited about Star Wars and all those things, and if you think EA's got it with this game. Do you think Respawn is going to hit it out of the park? I think they will.